Texas. What better place to continue a kickoff weekend? And the extreme heat of Arlington's only intensified by the fires of the pregame tailgate fair. College football's back, and that means the hat returns to the LSU sideline. And all eyes will be on his quarterback, Zach Mettenberger, in his second season as a starter. His counterpart for the Horned Frogs of TCU has been a feel-good story of rehabilitation. And his sophomore teammate carried the load a year ago and now will share the spot for the Horned Frogs. TCU of the Big 12, LSU of the SEC in the Cowboys Classic. Next.
A sold-out AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Number 12 LSU and the 20th ranked Horned Frogs of TCU set to square off here on a hot night in Texas. And we welcome you, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Todd Blackledge, LSU and TCU and partner, as the Tigers starting to come out of the huddle right now and out of the locker room. They won 10 games a year ago. For most programs, that's exceptional. For LSU, it's almost a down year. They lost 11 guys to the NFL. The question is now, as they take the field, can they replace those players? Do they have the depth? And can they be a player in not only the conference race, but the national title picture?
Well, I think if Mark Twain was here, he'd say something like, the reports of LSU's demise are greatly exaggerated because this team has recruited extremely well the last 4 or 5 years. They've got a lot of talent defensively, just they need experience. And on the other side of the ball, I fully expect Zach Mettenberger and his talented wide receiver group to really take a step up in the passing game this year to go along with that always powerful running game. They're not going anywhere.
TCU is ranked 20th. They'd love to pull off an upset against their counterparts from the SEC. Their first foray into the Big 12 was last year. They went 7-6. They won 4 conference games, but they had a lot of pieces missing. They dismissed a lot of kids in the offseason before spring ball, and then 2 main players weren't around for most of the season, but they're back tonight.
Well, they played great defense, as they always do under Gary Patterson. They were the best in the Big 12. But offensively, you have to score to win in the Big 12. And it started out pretty good, but they lost Wayman James, their leading rusher, to an injury early in September. And then their quarterback, Casey Pachall, who was 15-2 as a starter, was lost for off-the-field issues after 4 games, and it made it tough the rest of the time.
Casey Pachall, when he's on, can be as good as anybody, not only in this conference, but maybe in the country. And so we'll see him work tonight, and we'll see his young counterpart work as well. Here's a third member of our team, Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, for Casey Pachall, this isn't just a football story. This is a life story, trying to get his life back on track. I spoke with his family today, and his father, Stan Pachall, told me that when he dropped his son off at rehab last October, it was one of the hardest days of his life. He said, I cried like a baby to leave my son there. But everyone we've spoken to, from his coaches to his family, say that Casey is a stronger, better person right now. He's communicating better with his coaches. He's more involved with his family. He's in a better place. Now, how might the stress of starting in a Division I football game affect this young man's recovery? Well, the school has put things in place to help him manage that. He also has people from his recovery center that are checking in on him, sponsors in his program that will help him manage this stress. But Casey today, his coach Gary Patterson says if he never wins another football game, he will have won in life. But I bet they all want him to win on the football field tonight because he sure loves playing, and he finally gets to do it again tonight.
And Holly, Gary Patterson said the easy thing would be to just dismiss him from the team. The smart thing is to help him get his life on track, so he's got a second chance. Les Miles on the other sideline. 34 wins in the last 3 years. He starts his 9th season roaming the sidelines of Baton Rouge. And in tonight's case, in Arlington, Texas, where his Tigers will take a knee in the end zone on the kickoff. And they'll come out to start at the 25-yard line. Zach Mettenberger. We saw him last year several times, 10-3 as a starter. And there's his numbers from a season ago, Todd.
I'll tell you what, I think, again, he's had 5 different offensive coordinators since he left high school. You know, he's bounced around a little bit. Cam Cameron is his new offensive coordinator, has spent the last 10 or 11 years in the NFL. He's brought a real cohesiveness to their offensive system, and he's worked with his fundamentals. I just think he's going to step up in the passing game, and he has 2 outstanding weapons, and Landry and Beckham to throw to.
First snap of the game goes to Blue behind the big fullback Copeland, and he takes it out for 4 yards. We take a look at our impact players brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Talked about Alfred Blue. He's coming off an injury as well. Was hurt in week 3 against Idaho last year. Todd already mentioned Odell Beckham Jr. Not only a great wide receiver, but a big return guy. Jason Verrett, a preseason All-American, will have his hands full with those wide receivers from LSU from that TCU secondary. 2nd down and 6. Landry in motion. And now bunches in on the right side, and they'll keep it on the ground. And this time TCU stops him for no gain. Chris Hackett made first contact from the secondary for the Horned Frogs.
This defense for TCU is not as big man for man as the guys they're going up against from Baton Rouge, but they are extremely fast and they're very active on defense. They don't give you a standing still target very often. There's a lot of movement, a lot of shifting, and that time Hackett got on the end of the line of scrimmage and came quickly into the backfield.
For most of the game, TCU will be in a 4-2-5 defense. So the first 3rd down of the season for the Tigers. 3rd down at 6. From the 29, Mettenberger in the shotgun, pumps one way, comes back across the middle. What a catch by Travis Draw. Took a shot, and so did Mettenberger. They needed 6, and they got 8.
Beautiful adjustment by Mettenberger. Watch him look to his right first. His intended receiver was covered. He reloaded quickly, and even though he was going backwards and knew he was going to get hit, still had the presence to make an accurate throw for the first down.
First down, 49. Here's that play action Todd talked about. Loading and firing is Mettenberger, and he's got his man down at the 35-yard line, complete to Landry again. Pick up a 16.
You know, Landry throughout his career has made a lot of incredible catches, one-handed catches, big stabbing of the ball. I shook his hand after practice on Wednesday, and I almost went to my knees. Incredibly strong hands, and you can see him just go up and snatch the ball out of the air.
Good-looking opening drive for LSU. 8th play of the drive. They moved it to the TCU 35-yard line. Again, McGee stays in at the tailback and gets the carry, and he slices through for 6. Before they can bring him down. Elisha Olabo made the stop from the secondary, but right now LSU's doing exactly what they want to do.
LSU has moved some guys around on their offensive line. They're a big athletic group, but the only guy who's playing the same position that he played a year ago is the right guard, Trey Turner. Lyle Collins, who was their starting left guard and probably their best lineman, has moved out to left tackle this year, number 70. They are a young, athletic group.
A bunch set on the left side, and end around is coming. Odell Beckham. First down and more down the sideline, and Beckham has got it all the way down to the 12. Now they bunched up those wide receivers, faked it inside, and then brought it around, and a nice run by Odell Beckham, and they're going to go hurry up here.
Jason Verrett knew the play was coming, and he tried to go down the line, but you see the speed of Beckham outran that corner to get the yardage.
And now they keep it on the ground, and McGee's got it down to the 6, maybe the 5. Verrett made the stop. There's a guy that would have had a lot of pressure rushing the quarterback tonight. Another guy that won't play because of a suspension. Devontae Fields, who was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year and the Freshman of the Year in college football. Mettenberger standing tall, and he throws this one all the way out of the back of the end zone.
Good decision. He was looking at the tight end. He was not open. He was covered. Dylan Gordon, and that's what you have to do here. Don't waste it down. Don't try to force a play.
Don't throw an interception and fumble, which he did a few times last year down here in the red zone.
4 turnovers in the red zone last year. One of the worst QB ratings in the red zone of any quarterback in college football last year. Starter.
Alfred Blue back in there. It's 3rd down and 4. They can get a first down just outside the 2.
Landry's right here in the slot. He's the guy I'd keep an eye on.
Mettenberger looking at him, and now fires the other way, and it's broken up. No flag, and nice play by Kevin White on Deshaun Smith. Got there just when the ball did.
The strength of this TCU defense is their 2 inside tackles and their secondary. They've got a lot of veteran guys. That's a really well played play by Kevin White on the football. He gets the right arm around him. You could have maybe made that call, but he gets to the football with his left hand, and LSU will have to settle for the field goal attempt.
And this is a guy that's never kicked in competition. He'll try a 23-yarder. Had a great camp, they said, a red shirt from a year ago. Obi Delahousie. His first official kick for the Tigers is a good one. So a good-looking drive stalls. They settle for 3. And early on in the Cowboys Classic, the Tigers of LSU lead it by a field goal. 69-yard drive for LSU, capped with a field goal. They lead it 3-0 with 9:29 remaining in the first quarter. On the sidelines, Casey Pachall and Trevon Boykin. And I don't think we've ever done this before, but we made them both impact players for tonight because they'll both see action. And Anthony Johnson, preseason All-American. The Tigers of LSU and that long line of great defensive linemen they've had over the years. And he's just another one in that line.
Well, the thing about Pachall and Boykin is they have different skill sets. So they both bring something unique and different to the offense whenever they're on the field. And that's a pretty nice luxury to have if you're an offensive coordinator.
James Hairston to kick off for LSU. Back deep, Brandon Carter and Wayman James, the starting tailback. And Brandon Carter is going to take it right at the goal line. And he lost the ball. LSU's got it. Might be James Wright on the bottom of the pile, but a big early break for the Tigers.
Well, this was poor fundamentals by Brandon Carter. He never had that ball tucked away. He was carrying it way too loosely from the minute the return started. I mean, you got to tuck this thing up high and tight. Look how loose it is. Not even protecting it with his arm, and that ball is easily stripped out and recovered by LSU. That's poor fundamentals by a guy who should know better, Brandon Carter.
James Wright, the wide receiver on the special teams with a recovery. And now let's see if LSU goes for a quick strike here at the 10. Their wideouts are already out there waiting for him. Mettenberger under center. It'll be Blue, the tailback. And he might have lost a half yard. Olabo from the secondary made the hit.
A lot of times you think, well, LSU is so much bigger than TCU. They should be able to just pound them at the running game. But TCU has played teams that are bigger. They played and beat Wisconsin a couple years ago in the Rose Bowl. Big running football team, held them to 19 points. Last year we had them against Michigan State in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Big physical running team, held them to a season low of yards and first down.
You saw on that graphic, LSU's been living by the turnover. Here's the play fake by Mettenberger to the end zone. Broken up. Barrett on Jarvis Landry.
Well, in both cases, the last time they were down here and on this play with Barrett, the defensive back is getting the benefit of the doubt because I think the offhand is on the body and the free hand is making contact with the football. We saw Barrett get away with it there, and Kevin White got away with it on the third down in the last possession. They're making the play on the football, but that backhand is definitely making contact with the body as well.
Tell you what, Todd, if they can hold them to a field goal here after that turnover on the kickoff return, I think they'd be pretty pleased with that. Third down at the 11. Mettenberger loads and fires, and this time it's in and out of the hands of Durrell. Had it. Probably should have been able to hold on to it. Kevin White, the corner, that's his second big play he's made in this game.
Well, we talked about the strength of this TCU defense is their 5 defensive backs. Kevin White, watch him not give up on the play because he's beat. And that ball's in for a touchdown, but Kevin White never gives up on the play, keeps that left hand in there, and is able to rip it out before they can secure it. And that's just good extra effort after being beat on the play by Kevin White.
Well, Delahousie hit from 23. This one will be 5 yards deeper for him. .28-yard field goal attempts. This one is perfect as well. So, Brandon Carter dropped that kickoff return. He won't want that happening again when we return. 6-0 LSU. It'll be Hairston's second kickoff. And Catalan and James back there now. Carter won't get a chance to drop another one. He was was their main return man all of last year. So one fumble, and he's not out there for this one. DJ Catalon 5 yards deep, but he'll think better of that and take a knee. Pachall to throw again. Down the middle, completes another one. This time Brandon Carter holds on to the pass reception. And again, they hustle up to the line. And it'll be second down and about 3.
I'm sure TCU, one of the games they studied pretty closely was the last LSU game against Clemson when they lost in the Chick-fil-A game. And really LSU kind of controlled that game for the most part, but when they got into the fourth quarter, the tempo of Clemson and the hurry up, they ran 100 plays in that game, really took some steam out of the LSU pass rush.
Play fake again. Pachall comes up firing to the sideline and is caught. The ball is loose again. And they're going to say held on to it. Brandon Carter thought he was going to lose another one. And he's right at the first down stick.
What Casey Pachall brings to the offense is his quickness in knowing where to go with the football. There's not a lot of indecisiveness, not a lot of indecision. When Boykin took over last year, he was a freshman. He was just kind of learning as he goes. He was forced into the starting position. He got better as the season went on, and apparently had an outstanding spring and summer. But Casey Pachall is a seasoned guy, and he knows what to do with the football and where to go with it quickly.
6'5", 230-pounder, and he leads the nation in career passing efficiency. Catalon was in the slot, and now he comes back in a pistol set behind Pachall. And they're going to throw a middle screen, and they got it complete to Carter, and he's got some room down the sideline. First down and more. Brandon Carter all the way to the 11. Pickup of 25.
Well, the guy who got the key block on this play was Boykin. The quarterback turned wide receiver. Watch him stay on the block and seal the corner for his receiver, Carter.
On the 11, and Pachall tucks one in there to Catalon at about the 7 or 8 yard line.
Well, we mentioned some of the problems that LSU and Zach Mettenberger had in the red zone last year. TCU had their problems last year. They were 103rd in the FBS in scoring when they get into the red zone.
In this case, Pachall wide out, and Boykin scrambling, almost lost his balance. LSU's defense is too quick for that.
Yeah, no dancing. You can't dance against this defense.
And especially that guy. Down to 295, and he's that much quicker. And that's Anthony Johnson, the captain of the defense. A guy that actually wasn't a starter in several games last year, but he had to play behind guys like Michael Brockers and Benny Logan, and you go down the list. You know, those guys are all playing in the NFL.
You know, now, I'm not opposed to playing Boykin and giving both quarterbacks opportunities, but I don't get why you do it there. You've got momentum. You've got a great drive going with Pachall. Now you get a negative play and put it into a difficult third down.
Pachall to throw. Short of the first down, but battling to get within a couple yards of it. DJ Catalon, who got 7. But now they got a 4th down and a long 2, maybe more than that. Gary Patterson right now is trying to find out exactly where that yard line is.
You have to kick the ball. I mean, there's no decision here. I mean, Gary Patterson being a defensive guy, he knows how good this LSU defense is. You got to get points anytime you get in this part of the field.
That brings out a guy that was a pretty good kicker as a freshman last year. Jaden Oberchrome. Here's what he did a season ago. They've got 2 guys that were freshmen, a punter and kicker last year. More experience now, and this should be easy from 21 yards out. And it is. So both teams have gotten deep in the other's territory and to settle for 3. So a 71-yard drive and 14 plays, capped by Oberchrome's 21-yard field goal. And now Odell Beckham waits back deep. Beckham will stand under this 4 yards deep, and he's bringing it. Odell Beckham weaves his way out to the 20, maybe the 21, and that's about it. TCU, rangy defense. They can really run.
And they're so in sync. You know, Gary Patterson has long been held as one of the top defensive minds in college football, and they just are really on the same page in everything they do, and they have to be because they're not as big or as powerful as some of the teams they play against. But boy, they are in sync, and they play great team defense.
See if they can stop a 3rd and 7 from Zach Mettenberger. Fires down the middle, wide open this time is Odell Beckham, and he's on the run. And he's got a blocker in front, brought down as he got to the 49-yard line by Olabode, but it's a 26-yard pickup on 3rd down.
These two guys, Landry and Beckham, this is the first time that they've had their top 2 receivers back since 2006, and they've had outstanding summer camps, and they've been much more consistent catching the football. I mean, there was never any question about the talent of either one of these guys, but a little bit of consistency with route running, with catching the football, but they have been outstanding in camp, and both of them off to a good start tonight.
There's the numbers last season for Odell Beckham Jr. First down, a yard shy of midfield. Play action. Mettenberger wants a big one here. Long ball. Beckham's out there. Got him to the 6-yard line.
Great read by Zach Mettenberger. It was a double post, and Landry drew double coverage. He had his choice of either the inside post or the outside. I thought he was going to underthrow this a little bit, but Beckham did a good job of reaching out for the football before Kevin White could get in there and strip it.
So in the final play of the first quarter, the long ball, the hookup from Mettenberger to Odell Beckham, has LSU looking at a 1st and goal when we start the second quarter. LSU's got it 1st and goal to open the second quarter, leading by 3 with the ball just outside the 7-yard line. Now they've got their big set in there with Kenny Hilliard, the tailback, in the eye, and he gets the carry. Only got about 1.5 yards. Eric Kindred came in low, knocked him off his feet. LSU's going to stay. I thought they were going to stay right at the line and run a play, but they are going to huddle.
Football is a game of leverage, and the low guy usually wins.
Copeland, the fullback, and he's in, the big fella for the touchdown. 270 pounds, a fullback with a little sugar. He had 4 touchdowns on the ground last year. There's number 1 for 2013.
Their best offensive lineman is Lyle Collins, number 70. They ran right behind him. He got to the second level and took his linebacker about halfway through the end zone, and Copeland was right behind him.
Delahousie in for the point after. Got our first touchdown in Arlington tonight. And LSU did it in fine fashion with an 80-yard drive in 7 plays. A little over 3.5 minutes they used, and a lot of it was Mettenberger to Odell Beckham Jr. And when that was done, the big fella from a yard out, J.C. Copeland, LSU 13-3. I love fullbacks getting the football. 13-3. They had some big chunks with a passing game, and then this short chunk, Todd.
Well, he ran right behind their best lineman. Watch the block by Lyle Collins. When he did that, all Copeland did was just get right in behind him. He takes his man, the linebacker Jonathan Anderson, drives him right back into the end zone, and that opened up the initial hole for Copeland. And you got to throw those fullbacks a bone every now and then.
Absolutely.
If you want them to block for tailbacks, give them the ball down there around the goal line. Let them get a little bit of that touchdown.
We mentioned they had 4 of them last year. A 1-yard plunge has given LSU a 10-point lead. James Hairston to kick. Wayman James and B.J. Catalan.
What do you think the average yard per touchdown run for him was?
Probably 1.5 yards right in there. At the 1-yard line is Catalan. And B.J. Catalan springs it. Kicker to beat. Catalan is gone. 99 yards. TCU touchdown. That's the way you get right back in the football game.
Well, this was good running by Catalan. Poor tackling by LSU as well. They kind of got out of sync on their lanes. They left a hole open. Nobody really even got a hand on him. And Catalan, some good running here at the end, anticipating somebody might be closing, crossing the field, and TCU right back where they want to be.
They're officially going to call it coast to coast. 100-yard kickoff return for the touchdown. Oberkrom, the extra point. And in about 12 or 13 seconds, a 10-point lead is back to 3. B.J. Catalan, the sophomore out of Houston, Texas, on his way. Good game at the Cowboys Classic. B.J. Catalan just took it goal to goal. 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So in a matter of 15 seconds, back to a 3-point game. Actually, TCU's officially only had 1 possession, and they got a field goal out of that. That's not considered a possession. Here, LSU's going to have the ball for the 4th time here in the first half. They've got a dangerous kick returner as well. And Odell Beckham. He is going to bring this one from about 6 yards deep. Odell Beckham, flags are down. He works his way out across the 30 and close to the 35. And I think it's all coming back. First down, LSU. Time getting short here before halftime. And Blue's going to be hit for a loss. Loss of a couple. Sam Carter, one of the captains on the defense, the strong safety, made the stop. Carter almost more like a linebacker in that 5 defensive back set for TCU.
Was a dual threat quarterback in high school, came to TCU as a quarterback, one of Gary Patterson's really favorite players. I mean, he's kind of the quarterback of their defense, playing that hybrid position. That time had outstanding leverage on the play.
Brings up 2nd and 11. Mettenberger straight drop, fires near side. What a catch by Odell Beckham. As he went high with good coverage by Verrett, still snagged that one as he picked up 7.
Yeah, Verrett was in pretty good position. And if Beckham doesn't really make an aggressive attempt to catch this and jump for the football, Verrett's going to get in there and get a hand on it. That was tight coverage and excellent work by Beckham.
Brings up a 3rd down and 4. Mettenberger zips a slant complete to Landry. He's got a first down. And they still don't have him down. He got out near the 47-yard line.
And I mentioned those strong hands of Jarvis Landry. His ability to just kind of pluck the ball out of the air in traffic. Pretty impressive. Great throw on time. And Landry able to catch that thing going north and south and add extra yardage after the catch.
His 5th catch, 3 of them on 3rd down. Here's a screen pass that went awry again. That's the 2nd time tonight. Mettenberger has just drilled it into the ground.
Yeah, that was Blue's fault, though, because he was too deep.
4 was in the area. 2nd down.
I mean, he's got to stay back closer to the line of scrimmage so that Mettenberger has a place to throw. Watch Blue get too far down the field on this screen. He gets knocked behind the play. Well, he just got grabbed. I mean, there was just nowhere to go for Mettenberger. I saw where he was when it ended. Well, he had help getting there.
I'm not sure that didn't happen to McGee the first time they tried that down near the goal line. There's just too much congestion in there. McGee's in there right now, as a matter of fact, with Mettenberger in the backfield on 2nd down and 10. We're under 2 minutes in the half. Low snap in the shotgun. Zach fires deep sideline. Oh, what a catch. Landry again. 14 more yards. Boys, he had a big first half.
That's just a big time throw and catch against tight coverage. I mean, there's 2 defenders over there, and the ball can only be thrown in one spot, and Landry goes and gets it.
Landry caught 56 balls, 5 for touchdowns. Both were highs for LSU last year, and he's off to a sensational start here in the opener in 2013. 2nd down and 10 for LSU, leading by 3 here in the late stages of the 2nd quarter. They'll keep it on the ground. Alfred Blue, and he's got some room off tackle this time. Inside the 35, near the 33. Verrett had to make the stop. Busy corners tonight.
LSU.
Timeout taken by LSU.
30-second timeout.
32nd timeout here. Minute 34 remaining in the half. Cowboys Classic 13-10. LSU out in front. Mettenberger now will be in an empty backfield with a 5 wide receiver group. Important third down here. Even if they want to get it in field goal range, if they don't get the first down, they might be able to get a long kick out of this. Mettenberger flushed out of the pocket. Is he going to run with it? He will, and he just got there.
Good decision. Alfred Blue tried to adjust to the scramble and go deep, but Chris Hackett was right with him, number 1, and Mettenberger saw that and realized I got a better chance of getting to the first down than making this tough throw. Good initial coverage by TCU. And then Mettenberger, instead of trying to loft it to Alfred Blue, he just ran it for the first down.
The other thing Zach told us yesterday, he worked so hard on his footwork, not only in the pocket, but just doing drills to try to become a little bit quicker. That was just quick enough. Last year, he might not have got to that stick.
A lot of ladder drills, footwork drills, a lot of jumping rope.
Now they've still got plenty of opportunity to work. Only 1 timeout remaining, but a minute 27 to go from the 28s. Blue straight up the middle, and Alfred Blue blasts his way down inside the 12-yard line. His best run of the night. 17-yard pickup.
Well, Lyle Collins again. Watch number 70 crash down the inside. They pulled the other guard, Trey Turner, around. Little power football.
Do you give it to your big fullback again? He got you a 1-yarder earlier. J.C. Copeland. They'll lead the way for Blue, and he's hitting the backfield and loses yardage. Paul Dawson made first contact from his linebacker spot. Nice play.
Yeah, good penetration that time. Staying low, getting leverage, getting underneath those big bodies.
They lose yardage on that one. The 11th play of the drive coming up. Gary Patterson hoping that his defense can come up with a stop and force a field goal with less than a half minute to go in the first half. Kenny Hilliard, second man through. Hilliard, he's going to be short as well. Remember, LSU's only got 1 timeout. Ball was on the ground.
To call the timeout.
Les is all the way down to the 7-yard line.
Final timeout. The 30-second timeout.
And that's the final timeout for LSU.
Really, second down was the throw down. You know, now you're at third down and you almost have to throw the football. You've tried to run inside 2 times and you've gained virtually nothing. But who do you go to in play action? Now they're going to go with their wide receiver group. So on third down inside the 5, they're going to go with their 3 wide receiver group,
including Boone. Landry's been the big play guy. And now Blue comes out of the backfield as the extra receiver at the bottom of your screen from the 2-yard line. Mettenberger, pressure coming, trying to get to him. He got away somehow and throws on the run. Broken up at the goal line by Chris Hackett. And now LSU's got a kick with 5 seconds remaining.
Pretty good job by Mettenberger buying some time. Excellent coverage. 4-man rush, 7 guys in coverage. They had everything bottled up. Nowhere to go for Mettenberger.
Finally, a few of them getting their stance. Here's a kick with 5 seconds now remaining in the half. And it's good. And Gary Patterson is not a happy coach. So it is 16-10 at halftime. Nonetheless, what we said is if they didn't give up a touchdown, it would be a victory of sorts. But now that sprint to the locker room to get a drink is going to seem a lot warmer when they get in that locker room after back-to-back sprints by the whole TCU team. Let's check in with Holland.
Okay, so let's set that aside. But the red zone was a bugaboo for you, including that last series.
Yeah, we got down in there and made 5-yard penalties and backed up and untypically of us.
How do you clean that up?
Well, obviously we adjusted to make sure the calls are in quicker and we're better.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Interesting couple of minutes here at AT&T Stadium. Halftime LSU, number 12 leading number 20 TCU 16-10 as we send it
the Reese Davis and the BMW halftime report, guys. It's a good matchup going on between LSU and TCU as you take a look at our first half stats brought to you by America's Navy. TCU having all kinds of trouble with their offense tonight, and LSU's had the ball 18 minutes and 46 seconds. Despite that, it could have been better for LSU. It could have been worse for TCU. Welcome back to AT&T Stadium, everybody. Brad Nessler and Todd Blackledge. Partner, LSU had 12 plays in the red zone. What they get out of it?
12 yards. I mean, 4 possessions, 1 touchdown, 3 field goals. It's hard to win against a quality opponent when you're that inefficient in the red zone. And, you know, for TCU, even though they only gained 109 yards, they're still 1 touchdown away from being in front of the game. And so they get the ball to start here. I think they have to find a way to stretch the field. They've got to get some big yardage plays because they had none in the first half.
They couldn't get their passing game going downfield, is for sure, but they did do a nice job on returns. And here comes Catalan, who had the 100-yarder, and bringing this one out close to the 30-yard line as we check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
TCU coach Gary Patterson did accept the officials' explanations of what went on at the end of that half, but what he's not accepting is how his offense is performing. He said, we only had 109 yards in that first half. It's not good enough. We didn't have the ball enough. Our defense did not get off the field in passing downs. We have got to contest every single throw. But he was very calm. He was confident that his defense is doing a nice job in the red zone for the most part, but he wanted to make sure that I gave a shout out to his 2 sons who are watching at home. Cade and Blake were going to come, couldn't make it because Blake hurt his knee. So a concerned father at the half, just as concerned for his boys as he is for his team.
He's got 3 sons, Josh and Cade and Blake's the one that tore his ACL. So Blake, hope you're better soon. Paul, now he is trying to go deep, but it's into traffic and it's intercepted. So they did what Todd said they might try to do. There's a flag down, though, in the backfield. Could be roughing the passer.
Holding.
Nope,
Offense number 69.
it's not.
The penalties decline. Interception results in the first down.
And Jalen Mills has got the interception.
Well, a little bit of pressure. Pachall had time, but he just didn't get enough on this ball, and he threw into double coverage. I mean, I knew that they needed to try to stretch the defense and try to make a play down the field, but you want to save those for when you get single coverage opportunities. That time, Casey Pachall made a bad decision throwing where 2 defenders were.
And the guy that made the interception, Jalen Mills, played his high school ball about 20 miles from the stadium. So he comes up with a big play to open the 3rd quarter, and that's LSU from the 34. Here's some problems in the secondary. It's McGee down the sideline, and he's gone. Touchdown. Terrence McGee, 52 yards for the score.
Outstanding block by his left tackle, Lyle Collins, and also Kadron Boone, number 86, the wide receiver. Watch 86 pin his guy on the sideline. Collins gets the big block. Boone gets a block on Kevin White, and then the burst. Wide receivers have to block downfield. And when I saw this guy in the practice field, Terrence McGee, on Wednesday, you could tell he's got some real burst to him, and he shot out of there on that one.
Connor Neighbors, the fullback, took out 2 guys on the inside. 52-yard touchdown run. So after the interception, McGee caps a 66-yard drive on just 3 plays. Touchdown, LSU.
Do you know what? Remember, Gary Patterson told Holly at halftime, we got to do a better job on defense getting off the field in passing situation. They got the holding call on Sam Carter that extended the drive, automatic first down, and the next play, LSU gets the long run.
So now the Tigers have 10 points off 2 TCU turnovers. The dropped kick return by Carter turned into a field goal, and the interception by Collins turned into a 52-yard touchdown. Hairston to kick. Raymond James, B.J. Catalan back deep. Catalan has a 100-yard kickoff return for a score tonight. He's got an opportunity here from about the 1-yard line. And he's a good-looking return guy as he gets it out to the 23-yard line. Boykin in at quarterback, trying to make something happen. And this is what he can do very well. Out to the 34-yard line. We sort of set the story last year
when Casey Pachall went out after 4 games of the season. This guy, they were warming him up, Boykin that is, to be a tailback.
Yeah.
And within 4 days, they put him in a game at quarterback, threw a bunch of interceptions, but then a couple weeks later, came back and threw 4 touchdown passes.
Actually played pretty well, you know, under the circumstances. Had a couple back-to-back games where he threw 4 touchdowns in each game. Played well on the road, and he's in the game now because they've struggled so much offensively. The quarterback run threat gives something, a different way to try to attack this LSU defense.
Here's the option. The pitch with the left hand, got it out there, but a nice open field stop by Craig Lofton. And a gain of only 2. Lofton, one of the leaders of that defense, a 5th-year senior. Todd talked about the size back there. He's 6'2" and 210 pounds.
Well, you have to have safeties that are big and physical in the SEC, because when you want to beat Alabama, you got to be able to tackle their backs, and safeties have to be great tacklers in a league like that. It's a little different in the Big 12.
Boykin pumped and now threw behind Ladarius Brown.
I think we're going to get a roughing the passer, though. Ego Ferguson, an unnecessary penalty because that was an incompletion.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 9. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, we saw a penalty by TCU extend a drive for the Tigers. Now a penalty by Ego Ferguson. Could have easily pulled off on that. Didn't need to hit the quarterback. The ball was clearly gone.
Yeah, he took about a step and a half.
Yep.
It's a good call. And that takes it all the way down to the LSU 45-yard line. TCU with Javon Boykin in at quarterback. And here's a quarterback draw. Cuts it to the outside. And got good yardage before he's run out of bounds.
See, the reason that a quarterback run changes your offense and changes what you have to do defensively is now you pick up extra blockers.
Right.
Because instead of handing the ball off, the quarterback being not accounted for, now you have to account for him as a runner, and that gives you extra blockers, and you get more man-on-man blocking.
Catalan ball out. A little problem with the exchange there. I don't know if Boykin wanted to give it to Catalan and he didn't take, or the other way around. They'll have a little chat about that mesh play.
Well, a little indecision, I think, by Boykin. You know, you either have to make that decision to pull it out and run it, or go ahead and keep it in the belly. And that time it looked like it was a little bit of indecision, and that's why the ball ended up on the ground.
Very big 3rd down for TCU, trailing by 13 here with under 10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Boykin has time, fires, and caught, and a first down. Down at the 32-yard line. He put some pepper on that one.
Good read, good hard throw into the middle of the field to Brandon Carter, and again Lofton going for the contact instead of the football, not able to jar it loose.
Boykin, quick throw over the middle, and he's got a nice little rhythm going right now. And it's to Deontay Gray. There's some new blood in the backfield. Deontay Gray and Aaron Green. We got Gray and Green in with Boykin, so much different backfield. Right now it's empty again for Trevon. And this one thrown behind Aaron Green. Green, a transfer from Nebraska. And another 3rd down coming up. They picked up their last one. A lot of new bodies in there, including Listenby as a wide receiver. Casey Pachall just looking on now as his sophomore understudy has moved TCU down inside the LSU 30. Fly sweep. Catalan got the corner. And Catalan scores for the 2nd time tonight. This one on the ground from 26 yards.
Again, it's the threat of the quarterback run. That held some of those linebackers inside. They didn't know if Boykin was going to keep it or if he was going to give it to Catalan. Good execution. That time, no hesitation by Boykin, and a big touchdown for TCU.
Oberkrom in for the point after, and it's good. TCU, just when it looked very bleak for them after that long touchdown run by LSU, they get one of their own. B.J. Catalan's having himself quite a game here at AT&T Stadium. 26-yard touchdown run. And Gary Patterson's Horned Frogs again right back in it. 23-17 in the Cowboys Classic as we take a look. Oberkrom's kickoff. We'll go to Odell Beckham Jr. 2 yards deep. And he'll bring it out. And Beckham down the sideline, another nice return. We had some great returns tonight by both teams. TCU's defense looking fired up by what their offense finally helped them out with. Davion Pearson and Jonathan Anderson in on the tackle.
Now again, this defense has always been good under Gary Patterson. And last year, in the first year in the Big 12, they led in 6 categories. They were 16th nationally in total defense, and that's in a conference where they had to face 5 offenses that were ranked in the top 13 in all of college football. So they made that transition pretty well.
The second closest defense in the Big 12 was like 43 yards behind them.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Play action. Mettenberger zips it out complete. Odell Beckham slides on his backside to hold on to the pass and a first down at the 46. These receivers, though, Beckham and Landry, are really in sync, it seems like, or they're getting wide open, one of the two.
Well, they're talented. I mean, you've got to respect their speed. They're strong, and they're catching the ball more consistently so far tonight. But again, they had this kind of camp, and they have great chemistry with Mettenberger right now.
McGee follows his fullback, puts his head down, and he is stood up by Olabode. And we check in with Holly.
Well, Zach Mettenberger really worked hard in the offseason to develop that chemistry with his wide receivers that we're seeing tonight. During June, they threw 3 times a week. During July, they upped it to 4 times a week. That they'd go out and do 7-on-7, and then camp started. So they have been working all summer trying to get that seamless transition down. And you know, they had some drops last year they were plagued by, but so far tonight it looks like that chemistry and that extra hard work is paying off.
All to his wide receivers, all 11 completions, and second down from the 48-yard line. Mettenberger fires down the middle, completes. And this is Boone, another big target. And that's his first catch, good for 14 yards.
And Boone was working against Verrett, you know, so you would think maybe you stay away from their best guy. They went right after Verrett. Now Boone got away with a push-off. He definitely got away with a little shove to create separation. But a nice throw again by Mettenberger on 3rd down.
So they're inside the 40, trying to answer TCU's touchdown run. LSU leading by 6. As we approach 6 minutes remaining 3rd quarter. Play action. Mettenberger fires out in the flat to the fullback Neighbors, and he's brought down in the open field. Nice tackle out there defensively by TCU.
Well, we've seen Blue with a couple good runs. We've saw the long touchdown by McGee, but this is also where they do miss Jeremy Hill, because he was their most dominant back down the stretch. The last 7 games of the year, he was their go-to guy. Averaged over 5 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns in the last 7 games, and he is a big physical back, and they don't have that sledgehammer type guy right now.
Again, a quick play fake. The throw out to Landry, and he's going to fight his way for another first down. And his helmet came off, but was it pulled off? That's what he's saying.
Well, I think they need a few tighter chin straps, too. This was a nice instinctive play by Landry to spin back to the outside. He felt the linebacker to his inside. He spun outside, and that's why he got the first down. He knew where the pressure was coming from inside and spun out for the first.
So he'll miss a play. They put Boone back in there to take his spot. From the 28, first down. Draw play, Blue, big opening in the middle. After Blue to the 15. A 13-yard run again by Alfred Blue.
They've been running to the left side quite a bit. This time they go to the right side. Copeland with a beautiful block on the middle linebacker, Marcus Mallett. And again, Blue's he's not a guy who's going to try to make you miss. He's going to lower those shoulder pads and run north and south. Big target.
McGee now will be behind J.C. Copeland in the I backfield on 1st and goal from the 4. And it will be McGee. He only got about a yard. Nice job closing the door. Chucky Hunter hung in there. The 300-pounder made the stop.
Pearson got excellent penetration too, number 57. He was the guy that forced the run to go back inside, right into the waiting arms of his partner in there, Chucky Hunter.
Now they take out Copeland. They bring in the other fullback, Connor Neighbors. 5.5-minute drive for Les Miles' group as we approach 3 minutes here remaining in the 3rd quarter. This would be a tremendous answer to TCU's touchdown if LSU can get one of their own. Tight end in motion. And play fake for Mettenberger. Had a man opening the flats momentarily. Now he has to throw it away, and he almost had it picked off. Pressure coming from Dawson, and Olabode was the closest guy to the ball at the end of it. And there you see he's mixing it up with Dylan Gordon, the tight end, a little bit.
We had 2 receivers on the play, Neighbors and Dylan Gordon, and neither one was open. They were both covered pretty well. And again, the absence of an inside receiver, whether it be a tight end or a back right now for LSU, has limited them a little bit in their passing game, particularly when they get inside the red zone.
Remember, all their red zone trips, with the exception of one, have ended with 3. 14-play drive, and it's still 3rd and goal at the 3. They spread him out, but they'll keep it on the ground. And McGee, and he's in for the touchdown. His 2nd of the night. One from long range, this one from 3 yards out. The problem you find yourself in when you spread it out sometimes, that opening in the middle.
Well, Porter's going to get a block and watch Vidal Alexander pull through and get the kind of the trap block. And then the little or the shorter back at 5'9" just kind of gets low and runs right through the chute into the end zone.
Delahousie in for the point after. And he's been perfect tonight. So LSU does have an answer for what TCU did a few minutes ago. They go 68 yards in a little over 6 minutes. Terrence McGee, 2nd touchdown of the night, 30-17. The other kicker for LSU, Hairston, with the kickoff. And a yard deep, Catalan coming out with it. He's got 2 touchdowns tonight, one on the ground, one on a kick return, but this time he won't make the 20. I tell you, Catalan's got some moves.
Yeah.
Knocked off and cartwheels, somersaults his way out to the 49-yard line. And now a little jawing going on between those 2 guys.
He's shifty. You know, he keeps his feet moving. He got good hip movement. And he uses that stiff arm pretty well. The other thing that Boykin gives you is not just design quarterback runs, but if the protection breaks down and he can extend the play by scrambling, he can still throw on the move.
Boykin over the middle. That should have been caught by Deontay Gray. Dropped it. B.J. Welter, one of the linebackers, made sure he didn't hold on to it, but that could have easily been a 1st down, and that's 3rd down and 4.
The coaches told us the other day about Boykin that, you know, when he was thrust into the position last year, there was no real backup. They had to take a wide receiver and make a backup quarterback. So he really didn't have to compete week in and week out. But then when Casey came back, it was heavy competition, and it made him better. He really responded to that in a positive way.
Big 3rd down. And he'll try to do it with his legs, and he's not going to get away from Ego Ferguson, who's had a big game. He had one roughing the passer penalty, but everything else been pretty positive for big number 9. forcing the Ethan Perry punt that's upcoming. And that punt's going to have to wait.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Because we played 3. And unless TCU can start to slow down LSU's ground game, they've got 15 minutes to do something about it. At the end of the third quarter, number 12 LSU leading number 20 TCU 30-17. Well, Clemson a winner over Georgia in Death Valley in a thrilling game, 38-35. So the highest ranked team to lose so far, Georgia Bulldogs. Louisville playing tomorrow on ESPN at 3:30. This kick an end over end knuckleball, and it takes the great bounce that he was looking for and down to near the 1-yard line. Copeland trying to get it away from the shadow of the goal line and really got back only the line of scrimmage.
And that was a huge punt, and where it was down for TCU, because we're at the point in the game where this TCU defense would look like they were starting to get a little bit worn down by this big LSU offensive line and tackling these backs, but now pinning them all the way down on the 1-yard line, it'll force LSU to be a little bit conservative, and if they can get a 3 and out here, which they've only had 1 the whole game so far, they get great field position back for their offense.
And the ball is out. Let's see who's got it. TCU had the great shot at it. No signal yet. Not a good exchange on the handoff, and still they're trying to separate everybody on the bottom of the pile. It is TCU football.
I think Kevin White is the guy that came out of there with the football. He was out for a while and looked like a knee injury, is back in the game. This was a bad exchange between Mettenberger and Alfred Blue. Looked like the ball was on his hip a little bit. Blue was not secure in the football, and a big play. It started with the punt, downing on the 1, and now they get the turnover, and their offense in the best field position they've had all night.
LSU's backs came into this game with 296 consecutive touches without putting it on the ground. Alfred Blue just did. He's the last guy to have fumbled in that streak, the aforementioned streak. Golden opportunity. Trevon Boykin and TCU. First and goal at the 6-yard line. He'll keep it himself, but he only got a yard.
That was played well by Roscoe. I mean, he kind of had both responsibilities. He read the quarterback and then quickly dove in and tripped him up. And he was in position to guard the back and the quarterback. He just showed the quickness of the defensive end, Roscoe.
Second down and goal, 13-20, and the clock rolling at the LSU 5-yard line. Trying to take advantage of the turnover. Low snap, rides it to James, gave it to James. James for the touchdown. And they do take advantage of the turnover and make it a score and make it a game again with 13:04 remaining.
Stephen Bryant, the tight end, number 49, gets a great block up top, holds his position. And again, it's that hesitation with the quarterback. Is he going to keep? Is he going to give it? Freezes the defense inside a little bit. And then good blocking on the perimeter by Bryant.
Extra point is good. 13 and change remaining. LSU a 6-point lead. But a dropped ball at the 6-yard line. Their first turnover. And 2 plays later, a good exchange from quarterback to tailback. Wayman James for the touchdown. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. Good one brewing here with 13 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. And the kick. And it does make the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 25. First down at the 25. Play action. Mettenberger in trouble, and down he goes. Big play by Chris Hackett on a safety blitz.
Well, unaccounted for. They moved the tight end away, and that left Hackett unaccounted for on the backside. Mettenberger didn't feel it, didn't see it, and a loss of yardage play on first down.
Second sack of the night for TCU, and that came at a big time dropping Mettenberger back at the 17-yard line, a loss of 8. And they get LSU in a long yardage situation here and can force another punt. And I'm telling you, they're going to have a heck of a finish. There was a time when TCU's fans were sort of sitting on their hands thinking that LSU was taking over this ball game, but that's not happening right now. The noise has changed to the other purple fans.
You know, and it really goes back to that punt that was downed on the 1-yard line. It really flipped the field. It gave them a little momentum. It forced LSU to be a little conservative. And all of a sudden now we have a much different football game.
And here is the 3rd and 15. And though Zach Mettenberger's got a big right arm, you don't want to make a mistake here. Not so bad to punt with 11.5 minutes to go. Just don't throw one to the other team. Mettenberger loads and going deep. And broken up by Kevin White again. Who else? Intended for Boone.
Well, you know what happens when you have an All-American like Jason Verrett, who had 6 interceptions to lead the Big 12, led the Big 12 in passes defended. That means the guy on the other side usually gets worked on quite a bit. And Kevin White has more than ably held up his own on the other side. I mean, he has made several big-time plays tonight against these LSU receivers.
He might find some people not coming his way in the next few weeks. Second straight drive without a first down for LSU. Fumbled the last one, and now here they are to punt. Brandon Carter says, everybody just get out of the way. That one's shanked. And TCU's going to have great field position. It's going to be on LSU's side of the 50. 48-yard line. Not a good punt. TCU with a short field and down 6 when we come back. Second straight start in LSU territory for TCU, and Boykin comes up throwing. Back shoulder throw. Did he hold on the sideline? Going to be incomplete. Let's check in with Holly.
During that last offensive series, defender Lamine Barrow of LSU made the entire defense get up off the bench, come over and get together for a chat. He's wearing number 18. That was assigned to him because it's a signifying of leadership, stewardship, and he was the one that got this defense together and said, hey, we've got to stop this momentum now. They know the game is on the line, trying to get a stop here on this series.
And he started at number 18 in honor of Matt Mock, who led them to a title in 03, first one since 1958. And they've got it at the 39-yard line. It's second down and 23. Play action. Boykin wants to throw back the other way, scrambling for his life. Trying to run away from Johnson, got away from him. And he goes all the way to the 32-yard line, so he got a decent gain out of it. Picked up 7. And Johnson hurt now. Third down and 17. With 8:39 and the clock running. Pachall's in at quarterback. They need a big throw. You got him a crossing route to Catalan, but he's not going to get there. It's going to be 4th down and 5 or 6. They're into field goal range with that throw. Oberkrom has hit from 53. Oberkrom has hit from 53 last year in his freshman season, so this is well within his range. But does Gary Patterson want more? Yeah, they'll come out and try to make it a 3-point game. Jaden Oberkrom.
So I think you make that decision if you feel like your defense has settled down and has really tightened up against LSU's offense. And I think that's what he feels right now. Let's make it a 3-point game. We don't need to be desperate.
Oberkrom, kick on the way. High and deep and good. And the Arlington, Texas native on his home turf has made it a 3-point game. LSU now clinging to a 30-27 advantage. Well, Trevon Boykin started the game. 2 quarterbacks started the game. He's done well in the second half to help his team back to within 3 at 30-27. But LSU has helped the cause too on their last couple of possessions. A fumble and then a very bad punt That's led to 10 unanswered TCU points. Odell Beckham Jr. on the kick return. Odell Beckham in a foot race. He's not going to win it, but he's all the way to the 27-yard line. You can almost feel that coming from him. 75 yards.
Well, this TCU kick coverage team has the nation's longest streak of games without giving up a kickoff return for a touchdown. That was in jeopardy there for a few moments. But nonetheless, a big boost for LSU when they needed it. They've had bad field position. They've turned the ball over. And now their special teams have given them a gift wrap situation here with field position.
The gift wraps at the 25-yard line. With a 3-point lead and 7:24 remaining. Out comes Zach Mettenberger and company. At the TCU 25. McGee's the tailback. He gets the call. Almost looked like he lost the handle for a second, but no gain on the play. I mentioned LSU. The reason this is only a 3-point game, they fumbled first time in the last 332 rushes. Out the blue, put it on the ground, and a bad exchange from Mettenberger. And then 3 plays, -5 yards. Got that short punt. That led to a field goal. So 10 straight points for the Horned Frogs. Mettenberger in the shotgun. McGee on the carry. Follows his blockers nicely. And got it down to the 20. TCU was picked preseason 3rd in the Big 12. LSU, in most people's opinion, or the preseason choices, picked 3rd in the SEC West. 3rd down and 5. Mettenberger. Landry makes a great catch in traffic. Touchdown.
I don't know if Zach Mettenberger did this on purpose, but he kind of threw it to the back arm of Landry. Sam Carter was in perfect position to cover this if the ball is thrown where you expect it to be thrown. But the ball was thrown not a back shoulder throw, but a back arm throw. And because of that, Landry was able to catch it with his right hand and then get into the end zone.
So they were looking for 7. And they get 7. Extra point is good. The lead goes to 10. 6:09 remaining.
This is a strong receiver in Jarvis Landry who has extremely strong hands. He's got a guy draped over his body. He's able to keep his concentration on the ball and not only make the catch, but turn it into a touchdown.
He's got strong hands and strong fortitude. I'm not quite sure where he caught that, but he pulled it in. He's got 8 receptions tonight for 109 yards and now a touchdown. Now can Catalan get his hands on one?
Well, I think I'd kick this on the ground. I'd quit kicking to that guy. Or kick it out of the end zone.
That's a deeper kick. It goes to James, and he will have to take a knee. And he's Boykin at quarterback. Again, the snap from center was low, but he delivers, completes about an 8-yard gain to Josh Dotson.
So you're thinking right now, if you're TCU with the football with 6 minutes left in the ball game, just under 6, you got to score twice. And so you may only get 2 possessions, this one and 1 more. So if you get a field goal on this one, that's okay. You don't have to get a touchdown on this one, but you better make sure you get yourself in scoring position, because if you do get it back again, you may not have very much time.
They're down to 2 timeouts as well. Boykin going to go deep. He's got a man out there and broken up. The very last moment, it looked like it was going to be a relatively easy catch for Slanina, who was open, but that opening closed in a hurry for that LSU secondary.
Well, I think Mikey Eugene maybe got a tip on it, and because the ball hung a little bit long after the deflection, that enabled Craig Lawson to come over and jar it loose from Slanina. Good help by the safety, helping out his underneath corner.
Now 3 receivers to Boykin's right. A 3rd down and 2. They need the 1st down just to get the drive continued here at 5.5 minutes remaining. And in and out of the hands of Brandon Carter. Now it's 4th and 2.
Boykin very slow getting up after that play. It's back-to-back plays by Mikey Eugene, pretty strong.
And Boykin hit the side of the knee a little bit at the end of the play. And on 4th down, they're going to have to punt. So they didn't get the 1st down. They weren't able to keep the drive alive, trailing by 10 now. And that's, as Todd said, how many more times are you going to touch it? You might not get it again. Ethan Perry to kick. And Odell Beckham, the guy that did the damage on the kick return. We'll watch this one bounce and let it go as it drops down at the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. You know, a lot of people coming in, partner, said TCU, you and I agreed with this, and so did Holly. We're a good enough team to stay with LSU this entire ball game. And up until a couple of minutes ago, they were within 3 points. And that long kick return on the touchdown kind of turned it. And now LSU, if they can play LSU football, can kind of grind this last 5 minutes out. Well,
and that's what they have to do right now. They don't need to score again. You know, with TCU not scoring on that possession, now they want to work clock. They need to get a couple 1st downs and use as much clock as they can. That's what their thinking is right now at this point in the ball game.
They've got the big hosses in there right now. Everybody in tight as they'll run the football straight up the middle. Getting across the 25, close to the 26 was McGee, who's had a nice night.
Yeah.
Well, you consider McGee, the night he's had. Kenny Hilliard hasn't played all that much. Alfred Blue had a good game except the fumble, and Jeremy Hill didn't play.
Right. Yeah, and it's obvious that McGee is the guy that they feel most comfortable with right now because this is crunch time, and he's been out there the last couple possessions.
LSU's rushed for 178 yards against a defense that was 1st in the Big 12 last year, allowing only 105 a game. Of course, 52 of that was McGee on the touchdown run. Here he comes on a little counter. And again, they're just chewing up clock. TCU with 2 timeouts remaining. We're down to 4:25. If they could pick up this 3rd down, the Tigers, they would be in excellent shape.
We'll expect a lot of movement by this TCU defense. They'll show one thing at the snap of the ball. You'll see guys moving and angling towards the football, trying to pinch in there and get something behind the backfield.
The 3rd and 5 with under 4 to go now. And Alfred Blue in the tailback spot. And let Mettenberger throw one. Sideline, back shoulder, beauty to Beckham. 1st down.
They brought Blue in because he's the older guy and better at pass protection. But this is undefendable. I mean, this is perfect position and coverage by Kevin White. But if a quarterback throws it there, you can't make a play on it. I mean, that's the offense wins when you throw it like that.
That's having confidence in your arm. That was perfect. And Alfred Blue just pushing his blockers on the backside to help him through. And a 13-yard pickup again. And so Blue and McGee are both in that 85 to 90 degree, 85 to 90 yard night. It'd be nice if it was 90 degrees outside. It's still about 100 out there. And the clock winds its way down to 2:50. Zach Mettenberger taking his time, saying, okay, guys, just stay here until we absolutely have to get up there and snap it.
So you want the timing of leaving the huddle, going to the line of scrimmage, snapping the ball, and running the play to be the same. So you just stay in the huddle a little bit longer if you want that play clock to go down, but keep that part of the timing as consistent as possible.
Again, Blue, who fumbled earlier in the ball game, holding on to this one, spins his way down inside the 30.
I know that a lot of people in writers and reporters have said that LSU would be the third team in the SEC West this year. I don't agree with that. I think they're still the second best team along with Alabama. I think they're better than Texas A&M. They beat A&M last year in College Station. They get them at home this year. That's later in the year. I just think defensively, you know, as these younger guys and inexperienced guys play a little bit longer, this is going to be another outstanding LSU defense before pretty long.
A&M gave up 31 points today to their defense. Fullback, Neighbors straight ahead. And TCU is going to take one here.
Second timeout, 30 seconds.
They're down to one timeout with 1:38 to go. 4:30. And pulling his head down and plowing his way for another first down is Terrence McGee. So McGee, 95 yards on 13 carries tonight and 2 touchdowns, 1 short range and 1 from 52 out. TCU's only got 1 timeout, 1 more way to stop this.
Well, I think the best thing that Zach Mettenberger did tonight was passing on 3rd down. He was 8 of 14 throwing on 3rd down, and all 8 completions went for 1st down.
In total 3rd down conversions, 13 out of 19. Pretty impressive.
Well, the question will be, when does Les Miles decide that he brings Jeremy Hill back? But the good news for him is that his number 3 guy, Terrence McGee, showed that he can carry the rock for him when they need him as well.
And Gary Patterson apparently is going to let that last timeout go by the boards. Tough start for them when they got to within 3 points, but LSU able, and we said, Todd, you know, if they can chew up the last 5 minutes of clock, they don't have to score again.
Right.
How about the last 5:15 and taking the last knee and winning the first game? Good football game. 2 good teams that you'll hear from as the season goes along. But in this case, the SEC takes care of business over the Big 12 in the Cowboys Classic here in Arlington. LSU has had good success in this facility, and they do again tonight. Final score, 37-27, number 12 over number 20. That's going to wrap it up for us. We'll see you next week between the hedges. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Todd and Holly, Brad Nessler from Arlington. Good night, everybody.